Poems in August 2015, New and Old. Journey North. Do others carry their mind in flesh, as she has, fleeing away? Still listener and pondering voice, withdrawn from alien actions like conversations with plane passengers, on colic in wee babies, recently urgent, usually as vague, distant and far as land her physical sight has long since forgotten, like riding a bike, they say. 2 times lifting off, fingers in its ears, twice landing with eyes tight shut, stopped tongue and closed lips. But her mind, mine, always telling those tales. Glengairn for Elaine. Native loneliness, thigh deep in that bracken moor, under stand-off skies, the flight of a single bird or a god, an eagle, and me a child. Then winter, the cold blizzard, catching me again, alone on the Tor, adrift in the midst of the whiteout. What is God meaning? Spring at the long since crofts, forsaken, forlorn, rainfall rivulets. My own self, hearing unexplained songs. Then June, sheep shearing, the shepherd's unforgettable smile, his head tilted, a wheel, himself and the dog. Winding down the stair, my slippered feet on the pine bare treads to morning breakfasts, where fire smoke in the peaty smelling room mingles with syrup, floating the porridge, scaling the bray at the back, fetching birch bundles. It is the same lass, practising her soprano vocals by the burn. Lizzie Lindsay, it is my dad's favourite. I win a silver medal for singing this, the Lang Prize in the school. Mr. Patterson's nails clipping the keys as he's playing piano, softly, tenderly. When I was grown up, I took my own child, the Dee, wide as her brown eyes under the stone bridge. She had no shoes, the pebbles as smooth and rounded as slippery toes. In the cottage, gas lamp glows and thin candles lit the girls' room, our room, under the same old apex. After prayers at night, the sky boat song sung over and over, she'd sleep in the same high bed. Her days, not like ours. Our days, not like the others who dwelt before us. The Christmas Walk. A Christmas walk was standard for families of the working class. Near Sheffield, where his parents lived, we'd go for miles, stopping for coffee from a flask and rich tea biscuits to dunk in the plastic cups. And pregnant or not, I'd smoke my roll-ups with his mum, sat on my scarf and hat on freezing boulders, and the kids sucked scoops of snow pressed flat by their woolly mitts into natural ice lollies. Mostly, all that has been forgotten if my eldest child had not been photographed with beaming smile and hand outstretched. I wouldn't have remembered that she picked herself a weed with hollow stalk one year, on which some icicles had set, where hemlock seeds had left a spray for frost to fix the dew. Look, Mum, she'd said, some shiny diamonds for you. The score of the Father of Heaven for Elizabeth Henderson. Given the notes almost obliterate normal personal space, limiting girth to the speck of a pinpointed star invaded with closeness, so in your face now everything hurts the dysfunctional guess of the ear, still harping back to the ends and beginnings that may have been, like pensive crossings by ferries of medieval fifths from farmsteads to villages, or as plain sailing as those big sail ships whose watertight bows dove down in the brine and rose in triumph of oceans of feeling with orderly thirds strapped tight to the masts of our nation's identities. We've hardly noticed the global shift of focus from aqua to spirit, and the shrinkage to awful solitude that goes with it. Only an eerie score like this one maps no body's planet, implicitly trusting abyss. Sing your tones, and hate mine if you must, and at this last second, love that the difference is us. The Father of Heaven by Peter Maxwell Davies for Elizabeth Henderson. Only we recall the hours of awful practice trying to sing it, our ears battling for the perfect pitch of two pure notes meant to be close seconds, but more like needle and magnet, or brooches half hanging hinged to a vest and scarf, till we got it just so. Twin zones, poles apart. From the Falls of Laura, from the Iona poems. Let's just say I'm a hermit who lives in the south but stayed in the north. A sterling pal who knows I hide in my shell in Wales, fixes the dates for me to go on pilgrimage at last in 2013. I start it with this note, standing with her on the bridge between Connell and North Connell. Everything I see is myth. All action is narrative. Something seen is metaphor for inner instances. Take this trouble spent on Loch Etive in one-person kayaks, where the Falls of Laura make these folks' mission possible. How to hold your own in awkwardly spinning waters like these. You might as well drown as miss the most vital secrets human beings experience. There are no alternatives. It must be a middle way, found with a single paddle. I watch the lads riding the ridges between troughs and troughs. Sometimes they're swept under, twisting themselves upright from t'other side of the Sea Loch Bridge. They make for the bank, climb the rock, drag their crafts with them, get to the start, pitch themselves again, and, as we'd say in Pembroke, there we are then. Sorepool Garden. Fawn-coloured velvet dove, too big for the slim-branched cherry sapling yet. Give it 12 years' growth. Even if Sorpole's winds blow harder than fit for delicate blossoms with petals like baby's flesh, these spindly twin limbs, M-shaped, mothering somehow the dozen starlings under them now, will possibly carry more than one, probably pairs of cooing lovers. My sister's new garden in Crowhall Road, Stromness. Huge forlawn, bordered by granite wall that's seldom seen, almost eclipsed by dainty lady's mantle, big white daisies, fattest fists, waving grass, the fern fronds, rose, willows and fuchsias lining the base of hills that rise and lean right out of it. On Wednesday, the 12th of the 8th, the neighbouring sheep were clearly woolen cloud scuds, legged with spatulate ears and wagging tails, while over these the proper sky clouds lining blues looked more like long, wide grey scarves made from aluminium, or wee tufts of cloud, like indigo sheep. The Sea of Mercury on Thursday mirrors a sun too dazzling for this writer from Wales, whose eyes are weak. 2 cream-coloured cows put in an appearance now, though, over the brow of their sloping field, seeing the muckle beast suddenly near to me from underneath, an unexpected treat. Icons of the garden, North Connell. By a field in the east, where Shetland ponies beat their horizontal time on the drum we live on, cropping the turf they tread, at the end of its line of beech, birch, blackthorn and hawthorn edge, frond by frond, Rowan imagines its circles of rigid leaves, crowned by flower sprays like froth of milk, and ending the opposite western hedge of copper trees which shelter the mossy lawn. The apples leave their branches as women with minds decided, full of readiness and bonny, with all of their stuff packed into polished cars for the shift to their waiting men from their mothers' places and away for keeps. But then, to the north, between these two arboreal icons, there grows a tonic third, sweetening the air that flows between them and the Lochan and watching Ben Lora and us, the silver sphere of bog myrtle will sway like grass in ilka wind or season, misty or dry, day and night, yearning to be more like the idol of Buddha with shells from the beach in his lap, now settled on the land, with spirals of heel-all hair that's rooted in its own interior wood, its sows, while lilies and white lichen close their eyes on the south. Contents of a raincoat pocket. Wrapped in a thin white lace handkerchief, indigo and pearl, miniature seashells, the size of a whole afternoon on the shore last spring, with the tide out, farther than it's ever been before in Tenby. My son, the climber of peaks, scaling black rocks, while I picked objects up, exploring smallness as usual, kept in pockets, instead of cash or phone numbers or a plaster of